between the city and Milwaukee Board of School Directors to fund the required 25 school resource officers in Milwaukee Public Schools. Only 4 alderwomen voted against the measure. The agreement includes splitting the cost of the SROs 50-50 between MPS and the city. It also requires the city and MPS to provide 40 hours of training and a list of which officers are assigned to which schools in the district by March 15th. While the Common Council was voting on SROs at MPS, Mayor Cavalier Johnson was here at WTMJ telling the Upswing he'll support the district and its new superintendent.
Better educational outcomes are good for them. They're good for our city. They're good for our economy. They're good for public safety. They're just good for Milwaukee. And that, therefore, then is good for the state of Wisconsin. So we have a lot of work to do.
The MPS board will meet tonight to discuss the SRO situation and the hiring of Dr. Brenda Casilius as superintendent. And more than 2,000 cheese and dairy product makers are in Green Bay for the country's largest cheese championship.
Cheesemaker Steve Stetler with Decatur Dairy has been competing in the U.S. Cheese Championship as a master cheesemaker for more than 40 years.
You got to be a licensed cheesemaker for 10 years. You got to do 3 years of grading. So it's about a 13-year window at the earliest.
Stetler says the judging can be intense.
Whether it's a little discrepancy in flavor or, there's some oddball thing that shows up. It's a true competition.
At the Rush Expo Center in Ashwaubenon, Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is currently down about 325 points. That's actually an improvement from where it was about an hour ago. NASDAQ is up about 78 points at 18,428. S&P 500 down about 25 at 5827. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:04.
Are you looking for a new car or truck? Well, good news. Inventories have really improved lately, and I have a few ideas to help you find the vehicle of your dreams. I'm Jim Token, president of Adam, the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. The first step to getting that car of your dreams is to visit any of the 115 Adam member dealerships, where you can see their selection in person and take test drives. You can also find out about the new cars they have on order and reserve the one you want. Or if you really want to get the exact car you're dreaming of, they can order it for you. It might take a few weeks for delivery, but hey, wouldn't it be nice to have the perfect vehicle built just for you? This is your chance. Plus, if you're thinking of trading in your current car or ending your lease early, you'll be amazed at what dealers are offering. And if you prefer to handle the negotiations and paperwork remotely, no problem. Most Adam dealers will even bring cars to you for test drives. So don't wait. Start your search now. Find an Adam member dealer near you at adamm.com.
So if you're already in a relationship with an auto service center, that's great. We hope things keep firing on all cylinders.
But if you're not in a relationship, why not book your next date with us at Richlands the next time you're due for service?
All of our locations are AAA approved and staffed by ASC certified technicians with PhDs in
We can fix anything!
Put that on top of the friendliest, hardest working staff you'll ever meet inside a tire and service center,
and you've got yourself a rock-solid date.
the next time you're due for factory scheduled maintenance,
Or tires, brakes, and suspension service.
book your date at richlands.com.
Or just Google us. But remember, Richlands is spelled with 2 N's.
And oh yeah, be safe, buckle up, and hey,
Always make sure you have good tread on your tires. I'm Courtney Matchke with Richlands, and you're due for a date.
clever.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. It's the Bucks and Hawks tonight from Atlanta. On the road is where Bucks head coach Doc Rivers believes his team is rounding into form.
We're coming together as a team, and we're just playing better basketball. And we're doing things you have to do on the road, taking care of the ball, not fouling too much, rebounding, executing on offense. You have to do that on the road or you lose games, and we're starting to do that.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6 o'clock on WTMJ. No game for the Brewers. Cactus League play resumes on Wednesday. Today is also the deadline for NFL teams to apply the franchise tag to pending free agents. The New York Jets are releasing wide receiver Davante Adams, according to ESPN. Taking a look at your roads, WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic Update. Happy to report standard travel times across the system here in the early portion of the afternoon. Rain is on the way, however, and it could affect your afternoon and evening commute. Only little notable hiccup here if you're headed southbound from Brown Deer to downtown. That's about a 3-minute delay. It's going to run you 14 today as you work your way through the area. Rain is on the way. It'll be steady. Once it comes, it'll stay. Isolated chance of some thunder tonight. 48 degrees your high. Rain likely tonight, a low of 41. Temperatures reaching 46 on Wednesday. Expect some rain, maybe some flurries, windy, and some slush. Kind of a nasty day on Wednesday. Thursday's high, 38 degrees. Right now in Madison, it's 48 and cloudy. Green Bay, 47. Waukesha, 50. It's 48 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:08.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristin, Brey, and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon. I am back.
You are back. Welcome back.
Thank
Everything
you.
good?
Everything's good. Happy to be back. Thank you for holding down the fort yesterday. You are looking very festive.
I am. This is very conservative, but it is Mardi Gras today, and so I had to represent a little bit.
I know you look.
You've got the green on.
I got some green on. I should have done my purple eyeshadow.
See, there you go.
I would have really been on par with you. But is a little part of your heart just sad that you're not?
Every day that I'm not in New Orleans, a little part of my heart is broken.
Is that the plan? Is to retire down there? You think?
I don't know. I love it. I love most of just about everything about that city. The driving is probably the worst thing in the world because everybody
worse than Chicago?
Yes.
Really?
Because everyone there, every 100 yards, there's a big billboard from a personal injury attorney. In a wreck, get a check. Everybody there is driving for that check. And then because
that's like the intended goal of like, I'll get paid out if I get into a car accident, even if it's but they won't get it if it's their fault.
It doesn't, but they'll figure it out. They don't think that far ahead. People drive crazy. And because the city is so old, the infrastructure is bad. The streets are, it almost looks like Evel Knievel ramps in the middle of a lot of streets where it's just everything's buckled. Other than that, there is I have always believed there's a place for everybody in New Orleans, no matter if you're very conservative and, well respected, or if you're just a goofball, there's places for you to fit in down there. So I miss it all the time.
Where do you fall in that spectrum?
Well, not at the first column. I'm a little more toward mid to lower goofball status.
All right, should we be worried about this tornado that's hitting NOLA right now? I would have thought, isn't tornadoes on the water just like not a thing? How is that?
This city is in God's crosshairs 90% of the time. That's why they were smart. They moved up the two big parades today. Zulu, which started at 6:30 instead of 7 this morning, and Rex, which is like the final big parade. They shortened the routes, so they got all the parades in, which is great. And now, the mayor's probably happy that it's going to storm because it'll make it easier to clean out the French Quarter at midnight because they just march through with the horses and the street sweepers, and it's like, goodbye. Lent is starting.
Get that ashes tomorrow.
Yeah, till tomorrow when everybody's got their ashes and then they're back partying. So it's a whole big thing.
All right. Well, at the end of the show today, you have a very special picture to show the listeners who are interested in seeing you in a less conservative Mardi Gras getup.
Right. Yeah, that's because everybody's like, oh, you wore all your Mardi Gras clothes. I'm like, no.
This is nothing. This is nothing. All right. Well, then also coming up today, it's Giving Tuesday.
Yay.
So we are going to be talking to the executive director of Bridge to Brighter because I think when we talk about foster kids, we talk about being in the system.
Yes.
But what happens to kids when they age out of the system and when they have a lot less resources and a lot less people around who are invested legally in their protection? So that is an organization that helps people with that transition. And then, I don't know, do you ever wake up at 3 a.m. and just with that and that can't turn off your brain?
Yes.
I think it's apparently it's a common thing, specifically at that 3 a.m. time. And I'll tell you why at the end of the hour.
Good. All right, because that seems very specific. Then we're going to spin around the state. And, hey, guess what? Bernie Sanders is coming to talk and hold town halls in some Republican districts in Wisconsin. This is a strategy that is starting to take hold throughout the Democratic Party as Republican congresspeople are being told by the head of the RNC, don't hold any more in-person meetings. That happened this morning.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about why that is and where Bernie's going to be. And we'll also learn about conservation dogs, which is a type of dog I had not heard of before this. I'm guessing some of you have not heard about it. We are going to have a guest in who will tell us all about it. Linda Holder is the owner of Conservation Dogs Collective.
Yeah.
So they just collect conservation dogs.
Yeah, I don't think that's
Like
quite
spoons?
what it is. No.
Okay. Well, we'll find out later in the show.
All right. Well, you are not quite at the age of collecting Social Security yet.
No, but it means I've been paying in longer than you have.
Oh, for sure you have. Absolutely. But is that something that you are, when you found out that, 2025, this big change happened.
Yeah.
So basically to receive your full Social Security benefits, it used to be 65.
Sure.
As of 2025, it's now 67.
Right.
So you have longer to wait, Brian.
Well, I've always figured I'm working till they put me in a box, so it's not.
Oh, you have no plans to retire. You're like, I'm going to work as long as they let me.
What am I going to do? Sit around and yell at people? I get paid to do that here.
You're like, I do that now. But yes, so that was a big change for this year, along with a 2.5% cost of living adjustment, higher Social Security work credit requirements, higher ceiling on Social Security payroll taxes, which I thought was interesting. It raised, I did not know this until recently. So someone who makes $170,000, now it's $176,000, pays the same amount of Social Security tax as Elon Musk because it is capped. And so after that 6.2%, after as of this year, before it was $166,000, but now as of this year, after $176,000, you do not pay any more of your personal income tax to Social Security.
And I would be curious to see how many people in the Elon Musk income bracket, nobody's making as much as him, but let's say Warren Buffett, all the billionaires and multi-millionaires.
Some of the people there, people who are making like $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 a year.
Take their Social Security,
which
I guess they've paid in, but there's kind of it's your money, you're entitled to it. I get it. I think if you have that much money, maybe you go, you know what? I don't need the $1,000 a month or whatever.
The $1,900 or whatever the average
is.
payout is. But all right, so those were the changes that were already planned for this year. But it sounds like there could be more changes coming. So we are going to be talking about the fact that the Social Security Administration, which is the department tasked with running the program, they've announced that they're beginning to reorganize and slash staff. So
it's just a Ponzi scheme. They're not going to make any cuts to this. Come on. Everything is fine.
So we're going to talk about that after this.
He's going to fire up a three for the win, and he hit it! Game time has arrived! Lobs to Giannis, who flushes it in with one hand. Lillard, three-pointer for the lead! It's game time! Green going to fire up a three from the top of the arc, and he sends the ball no line. Takes it down the lane. He'll lay it in with another foul. Oh, baby! The Greek freak is unleashed.
The sound of the Bucks is here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
We're on the air in 3, 2...
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano. John Mercure here. Wait, does that car say Pella on the side? What's Gina Della doing here?
Sorry, I'm late.
We're on the air in 3, 2...
Recognize my voice? Get used to it.
Talk all things Windows, business, and being a boss in more ways than one with Gina Della from Pella's very own show right here on WTMJ. Starting February 1st, tune into What's the Difference every Saturday morning at 6:30 or stream anytime on WTMJ.com.
What a tease.
Welcome back. It is Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristin Brey. And, everyone's favorite podcast.
Crafty Brewers.
Have you ever actually listened? Yes, that one. That one, exactly. Or You Need to Listen.
Or You Need to Listen,
Steve and Kristin Brey.
Those should be 1 and 2, and they can alternate between the day. Which one is your favorite?
But have you listened to the Joe Rogan podcast?
I've listened to probably 3 episodes.
Okay.
One, I don't have 3 hours.
That's what I always come back to, is the fact that I don't have that kind of time, especially for how often he puts episodes out. But anyways, Elon Musk, I don't even know what his title is right now, because apparently he's not, he's not the head of Doge, even though he's at cabinet meetings and everything. But he's making time to go back on Joe Rogan. And one of the things he talked about last week when he was on that show was his opinion on Social Security.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Right, explain that.
Bernie Madoff? No, not a bigger Ponzi scheme.
No, I don't
All right,
think so.
What is the definition of a Ponzi scheme,
Well,
Brian?
according to the Securities and Exchange Commission, quote, a Ponzi scheme is an investment fraud that pays existing investors with funds collected from new investors. Ponzi scheme organizers often promise to invest your money and generate high returns with little or no risk. But in many Ponzi schemes, the fraudsters do not invest the money instead. They use it to pay those who invested earlier and may keep some for themselves. So that doesn't really mesh with what Social Security is.
No, because I would say some people would argue that Social Security is one of the highest functioning aspects of the social safety net programs that are available, right? And it does actually, not you or I yet, but for the people who can and are collecting Social Security, it does pay them out.
Yes.
There is no bait and switch as far as you paying in, and you never get your money back. But so it is not a Ponzi scheme, Elon.
Well, yes, but are we surprised that Elon would spout off falsities?
No, but I also read this. It's managing the program costs less than 1% of the revenue that funds the program. So it is a highly actually efficient program as well. But as we said in the previous segment, there are certain there's certain changes that have been announced for this year because there's a bigger concern over the fact that it's going to run out at some point.
Yes.
We've talked many times on this show, the gray tsunami that's coming, the people are living longer, so they're collecting Social Security for longer. There's less working age people to be paying into it. But it's also the fact of it is capped, right? It is capped at $176,000. So if people who are making a lot more of that had to actually pay the full 6.2% of what they make, maybe it wouldn't become insufficient. But now the Social Security Administration announced last week that it is soon going to implement agency-wide organizational restructuring that will include significant workforce reductions. So it sounds like they're trying to lower the number of employees by 7,000.
Okay.
So it's from 57,000 to 50,000 people. They're going from 10 regional offices to 4.
Okay. Great.
And they're cutting about $800 million from their budget.
Well, that should make it more efficient because we all know that the rank and file worker is the one who's causing all the trouble. If it wasn't for those pesky employees trying to get paid.
But I just wonder, is this not another... Because it's already the lowest level of staffing they've had in 50 years.
Right.
And so it's already like 40% of people who call to try to get a hold of a Social Security agent are on hold for like hours. Because we already don't have enough people. And like, if you think about it, I'm sure your mom is like this. wants to talk to an actual human.
Yes.
Is not trying to like navigate a government website to get her questions answered.
She wants a person.
And so, like, is this just a plan to like a ruse to privatize Social Security?
It seems to be on that way because for some reason, the administration believes that every aspect of government should be making money. And that's not how
it's not what governments are meant
works.
to do.
Right. But this would make somebody money, not the people who have paid in, not the people who are dependent on their Social Security checks. But somebody would make a lot of money if it was privatized.
Well, because it's basically, for most people, the only retirement guarantee that doesn't take financial risk.
Right.
To, even your 401k. I'm sure right now people are looking at their 401k if they didn't see any of this, like, nosedive coming.
I would advise you not to look.
Oh,
today.
and it's like, for someone like me, that's fine,
Yeah.
right? Like, Mike and I were talking this morning. It's like,
you got time to bounce back.
yeah, but
hopefully.
There's a lot of people who do not.
Right.
And so, anyways, so I don't, this just feels like 73 million people take Social Security. And if you're going to downsize how many people are dedicated to helping the people navigate the system that they've paid into,
right.
This is not a handout. This is something that we all pay into. It just feels like another thing of why people might show up at the non-existent town halls that Republicans are now being told that they should not have.
Well, and there's a couple texts coming in saying it is a Ponzi scheme. It is because they pay out so much and they're paying out the people who have put in. That's the money. It's not an entitlement. And yes, we worry down the road, as you mentioned, that there's not enough people working to pay in.
I should worry that it's a Ponzi scheme,
Yes.
right? Like there's money
Right.
that because I'm so far away from 67 or whatever that's going to be by the time I am 67, that there's money that I would paid in that I may never get back.
Right.
But it is efficient as far as since the 80 years we've had it has done the job that it's supposed to do.
And if you're so worried, not you, but if people are so worried that they're paying out more than they're taking in, well, then let's examine those caps. Let's examine why some people are not paying what they should be paying. And if those people, and, it's a dangerous idea, but when you're making $1 million or when you're making a couple million, which I don't begrudge anybody making that kind of money, but you should be paying in a little more. And then you can decide yourself if you want to take that. But to say that it's Ponzi scheme is a criminal enterprise. This is not a criminal enterprise by any stretch of the imagination.
I agree. All right. We'll come back with more after this.
While you rest on the weekends, we work for you. Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. The latest in news.
Frozen custard stands would rather raise prices a little bit than compromise on quality.
Entertainment.
It's such a gory body horror film, but I just love how award season is getting people talking about it.
And more.
I ended up going in and having surgery, and once the swelling went down on my face and my helmet fit, that was the best finals I ever had.
Every Sunday morning starting at 8 on WTMJ.
Hey, boaters!
Some call them oddball parts, but we call them a huge part of our inventory. Dave Doro here from Kendor Marine. With thousands of boat parts and supplies stacked right here in our store, you won't have to look elsewhere. If you need it, chances are we got it, along with expert advice to get your job done right. Hey, boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
It's a boater's do-it-yourselfer's dream store. Kendor Marine stocks thousands of boat parts and supplies. Just about everything you'd ever need to keep your boat up and running. Whether it's common or something you think might be discontinued, you can bet on us having it. So don't be surprised when we have just what you need. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
The
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
Debbie Lazaga here for Kohler Services. If you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now's the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get $1,000 off your Luckstone shower remodel and no payment financing until 2026. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote, with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristin Brey. And in the last segment, we were talking about the changes, both that are planned for Social Security, as far as the cap being raised by $10,000 and 2.5% cost of living change. But we're also talking about the fact that they are likely going to be slashing the workforce by about 7,000 people. And I pose the question, is the goal just to privatize all of these, what we used to be considered, this isn't a public good, but, the things that the government provides.
They've been talking about doing that with the post office. And so now, we can ask the same question about Social Security.
And so I saw this analogy on social media, and I wanted to get your thoughts and the listeners' thoughts. But so this is the analogy. My neighbor was complaining that they were short on money. I went over there and found a ton of savings for them. First, I sold both of their cars for them. I fired the babysitter who watches their children after school, and I canceled the fire insurance on their home. I saved that family thousands of dollars. Despite all I've done for them, they're now complaining that they can't get to work and they need their babysitter or the kids will be left unsupervised. The solutions they need are so easy. I own a car service, and they can pay me to drive them to work. I also own interest in a daycare down the road. I just can't understand what they're so upset about.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's perfect sense. Of course, that is how it's going to work. Granted, some of this is just theorizing, and all right. But if you look at enough signs, it's not a big leap to say, yes, this seems like the plan, to privatize some of these agencies that have worked in the common good, that weren't supposed to make money. They were just supposed to exist and help people. Well, we're past helping people. Helping people is so 2014. We don't help people anymore. We just make money.
All right. ABC News and local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Investor reaction swift on Wall Street, with stocks plummeting today after the U.S. imposed 25% tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico. China imports hiked to 20%. Canada already countering with matching tariffs. ABC's Caleb Silver is editor-in-chief for Investopedia.
If there's one thing investors don't like, it's uncertainty, and that's exactly what these new tariffs against China, Canada, and Mexico bring with them, along with inflation. That inevitably leads to slower spending and slower economic growth, which we are already seeing. That translates into lower profits for companies and lower stock prices.
President Trump will address a joint session of Congress tonight, likely speaking about those tariffs along with the pause of U.S. aid to Ukraine. After the fallout from last week with President Zelensky, two sources briefed on the ongoing discussions now say the U.S. and Ukraine could sign the mineral rights deal as soon as today. In New Orleans, despite high winds and severe storms in the forecast, crowds celebrating Mardi Gras. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. 48 degrees, cloudy, rain is on the way in Milwaukee. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, I'm Greg Matzik. A former police officer faces charges for recording underage girls. 41-year-old Fernando Bustos of Greendale faces one felony count of invasion of privacy with a surveillance device of victims under the age of 18. He was a security coordinator with Cristo Rey Jesuit High School, where officers say he recorded nearly 380 videos of girls changing between May of 24 and February of 2025. Bustos previously served as a Greenfield police officer. Several arrests made after a two-county chase ending in a crash. The Kenosha County Sheriff's Office stopped a vehicle Monday morning at Highway 45 near County Highway C for a man wanted on criminal charges in Illinois. The driver sped off. A chase ensued to Lake County, where the car crashed into another vehicle near Illinois Route I-73. Authorities arrested the owner of the suspect vehicle, Mason Spencer, on multiple active warrants. The driver of the other vehicle suffered minor injuries. That individual also arrested on outstanding warrants. And the executive director at Wisconsin's Department of Public Instruction is stepping down. Sachin Chida plans to return to political consulting. He's worked in state politics for years, running Governor Tony Evers' campaign for state superintendent in 2013. Chida says he'll help State Superintendent Jill Underlay's campaign in an informal capacity, but his work will focus on issues and not candidates. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is lagging, down 355 points at 42,835. NASDAQ is up nearly 100 points today at 18,450. S&P 500 off about 27 at 5822. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com. Taking a look at your roads, a WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic update. Nothing to report on the system. Pretty standard travel times. Just a minor delay if you're headed southbound on 43 between Brown Deer and downtown. Looks like about a 2-minute tap on the brakes sort of delay. Rain is on the way, and that could make the evening commute a little slippery. So be mindful of that. Get the lights on when the rain starts falling. When the rain starts, it'll hang out into the evening and overnight hours. Isolated thunder possible, a high of 48. Rain tonight and a low of 41. Rain, maybe some snow flurries tomorrow. Could be some slushiness and windy conditions, a high of 46 degrees. Right now in Waukesha, it's 50 degrees and cloudy, 48 in Madison, 49 in clouds in Waukesha, 48 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Have you been to the Hounds and Tap yet? In Menominee Falls, this state-of-the-art facility and the ultimate hangout for hounds and humans. Grab a drink at the indoor-outdoor tavern, let your dogs hang out. You can even book professional grooming services, from pedicures to full spa treatments. Every day is a play day at the Hounds and Tap. Hang out with your dog and others, or drop your dog off for doggy daycare or doggy boarding services. Check out thehoundsandtap.com. That's thehoundsandtap.com.
Looking ahead to life's next adventure? Hi, I'm Mike Yancey from Yancey & Associates. Whether you're buying a home or launching your dream business, we know there's a lot on your plate. But here's the thing, you don't have to go it alone. Since 1946, we've helped Wisconsinites like you secure, protect, and grow their version of the American dream. Our team is ready to tailor the perfect plan for you. Learn more at ANSAY.com. That's ANSAY.com.
Hey,
It's time for Giving Tuesday, where we introduce you to Wisconsin people and organizations that are advocating for causes and doing good all across the state. So when we think of kids who are in the foster care system, there's a lot of people who are trying to help. There's people who are working as their social worker, their foster parents, CASAs. But what happens when kids age out of the system? What is that transition like, and who is looking out for them then? That is where Bridge to Brighter comes in. Nick Scarlatta is the executive director of Bridge to Brighter, which is an organization that supports youth in and aging out of foster care in Milwaukee County. Welcome to the show, Nick.
Thank you for having me.
So what is your background with foster care?
My background is my family became a foster family in 2015.
Okay.
We were a foster family for 9 years. We fostered 15 or more children.
Wow.
And in 2021, we adopted 2 children from foster care.
Wow.
So we think, most of us don't know a whole lot about the system, but we figure, all right, a kid's going to age out at like 18, and legally they're an adult, but anybody who's a parent or anybody who's hung around 18-year-olds knows they still need a lot of help. They need some guidance. So what are the unique challenges for an 18-year-old who is aging out of the foster care system?
Sure. That's a pretty deep question, but I'll do the best that I can.
We aim for the really multi-layered deep questions here, Nick.
So I would put it this way. Think about being 17, 18 years old, not having a home, not having a family, not having that support. And now you turn 18, you're becoming an adult, and you have to tackle all those challenges of becoming an adult on your own. And what we do at Bridge to Brighter is our goal is to help them make a successful transition to adulthood. And we start with that by providing safe and stable housing. Okay. And then we have programs, services, and resources to help them with that transition.
So while the housing is probably that's got to be the biggest concern, right? Because if all of a sudden you can't live with your foster family anymore, where do you go when you're 17 or 18?
Absolutely. The number one fear of youth aging out of foster care is homelessness.
Yeah.
And 1 in 5 are homeless on the day that they age out.
Wow.
So think about not knowing where you're going to sleep or where your next meal is coming from. If you don't know that, you're not going to care about school or a job, which are important and vital. And that's why that's one of our pillars, housing. That's number one. And then we help them finish their education, get their GED, help with employment, help them address mental health needs that they have, help them build healthy relationships, and develop life skills that are necessary to make that successful transition to adulthood.
And I'm guessing you're not going to have any data on this, but even anecdotally, because I feel like so many of the people I know who have fostered are incredibly generous, kind-hearted people. And so I think there's a part of me that thinks of those types of folks wanting to stay involved, even if the child who's been in their care ages out. But is that not the majority of people as far as staying in touch or in trying to help support, even if it's not living in their home once they age out?
Yes. Well, one statistic is most foster families close their license within 1 year.
Oh, wow.
So there's a shortage of foster families. And, you brought it up earlier. When you look at the foster care system, there's a lot of needs and gaps. And we're trying to address the gap of the youth aging out of care.
So you mentioned one of the pillars is housing. What are the other pillars for Bridge to Brighter?
Sure. I just spoke about them. Employment.
Okay.
Helping. We currently work with young men, and we have an 8-unit apartment complex. So we're housing 8 young men and helping them with that transition. But our other pillars outside of housing are building those healthy relationships, self-care and healing. We want them to help them heal from their trauma, so providing them those resources, life skill development, and employment and employment training.
So then how do you said there's 8 young men living in the housing right now. How do you find like who's eligible? Like, because there's obviously so many young foster youth. Do they find you? Do you find them?
It's a combination. We have strong partnerships with child welfare agencies in southeastern Wisconsin. And to do this work, you have to collaborate and partner. You cannot do it alone. So we work very closely with other organizations to help us transition those young men into our services. So we work collaboratively. We do an intake process. We want to make sure that we're getting young men that want to break that cycle, that want to come in and make a difference with their future.
Nick, is there any estimate on how many young men are aging out every year or every quarter?
Sure. So our focus is in Milwaukee County because that's where the need is greatest.
Okay.
We would, in our long-term goal, we would like to serve young women as well, and we would like to grow, throughout the state. As far as youth aging out, the numbers that I've been told, and I don't have privy to them, is about 300 in the state of Wisconsin annually.
Okay.
There's about 7,000 children in Wisconsin that are in foster care, and 2,000 of those 7,000 are in Milwaukee County. So that's where the concentration is the largest and where there's the greatest need.
All right. So then on a happier note,
yes.
You guys do have a concert coming up, a benefit fundraising concert. Tell us more about that.
Sure. So on Friday, April 25th, we are having our 4th annual Bridge to Brighter benefit concert. It's in Madison at the Majestic Theater in downtown Madison. We have Jay Artiz and Mo Soul Collective who's playing that night. And our goal is to raise money for Bridge to Brighter and the services that we provide. One of the things that we're in the midst of right now is looking for a second property and purchasing a second property so we can grow our reach and provide more services to more youth.
How long does Bridge to Brighter's program last? We know there's an age-out process for the foster care system. Is there an age-out deadline for Bridge to Brighter?
There's not an age-out, but we look at our program being 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
So we can take youth as young as 17 years old. That's when they become eligible for independent living within the foster care system. And then once their order is up and they officially age out, then they transition to, aged out services. So we will take youth up to about age 23 or 24, and we look at them being with us 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Is there any one story that stands out to you since you've started working at Bridge to Brighter?
I don't know if there's one story. I mean, with foster care and youth aging out, I live it every day in my personal life and in my work life. And, my heart breaks for these young men. I mean, no child should have to go through what these young men are going through. I'm so proud of and I love each of these young men so much. And I just, to see their growth and watch them experience things that they've never experienced before is wonderful. And I'm so excited. I love going to work every day. I'm so excited about all the things that we're doing. I'm so grateful for our many generous supporters, what we've been able to do, and, to show these young men that people care about them. Because most of us can't imagine, but can you imagine not having a family and not having that sense of belonging? Like, I've been told I'm terrible my whole life, or that sense of self-worth. And so we're just, I'm excited about what we are able to offer our young men and, show them that we care, provide that supportive community and environment, and to see them grow and thrive. And I want nothing more to cheer them on, to their next chapter and have them come back and be mentors and, share their story with, other young men that come into our program.
All right, Nick. Well, if people want to support or want more information, can they find that?
Yeah, couple things. I would go to bridgetobrighter.org. You can, if you go to the events and news page, you can register for our fundraiser in Madison, or you can donate. Click on the donate button. Yes, we're like I said, we have an army of supporters, and I'm so grateful. But yeah, anybody that wants to check us out, bridgetobrighter.org.
All right, Nick Scarlatta is the executive director of Bridge to Brighter. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be back after this.
If you know of a Wisconsin organization you would like highlighted on Giving Tuesday, email us at spanning@wtmj.com. We can always use a little help from our...
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
We know that the people of Milwaukee are hard workers, that they're tough. But even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com, or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to new, NORDICUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New year, new you, New Nordic.
Hi, it's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristin Brey. It's Tuesday. It's Mardi Gras.
It is Mardi Gras. Drink up.
We're having a fun time, and you could be having a fun time seeing some magic with the classic Penn and Teller. Yes.
Nice.
WTMJ and Pabst Theater Group are giving away 2 tickets right now. 855-616-1620 to experience Penn and Teller, because they're coming to the Riverside Theater March 27th. From the humble beginnings, nearly 50. Wow, 50? They've been doing this for 50 years.
Wow.
Man, they were busking the streets of Philadelphia to acclaimed sold-out runs on Broadway. They are the longest-running and one of the most beloved resident headline acts in Las Vegas, but they're coming to Milwaukee. Penn and Teller continue to defy labels and, at times, physics and good taste by redefining the genre of magic and inventing their very own distinct niche in comedy. So you can go right now. 2 tickets we're giving away. Be nice to Rhea.
Yeah.
Always be nice to Rhea. Because if you're mad about what Brian and I are saying about
Rhea's
Social
fault.
Security, it's not Rhea's fault.
She's as mad at us as you are. Trust me.
But be nice to Rhea, 855-616-1622. Tickets right now. But if you don't get tickets, if you don't win them, you can buy them. And they are at sale at papstheatergroup.com. So we'll do that, and we'll come back with more after this.
The Upswing with Jeff Sherman.
The Chief Marketing Officer at Sprecher Brewing Company, Sam Keene, joins us. Your new partnership with Assassin's Creed Shadows.
They didn't bat an eye when we brought these gaming IPs in. They sold it into retailers. That really set the tone that we were onto something. We're growing new consumers with these programs. That is huge. And
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
My name is Emma. I'm 25 years old, and I work at the Wisconsin Athletic Club. And I just love what I do here because I feel like I helped a lot of people. I hope that other kids can have a goal that they can move out and live independently too. I've had all these opportunities because somebody said yes to me.
Live life to the fullest with Thinkability Wisconsin, a resource hub that supports people with disabilities throughout their lives. Connect with a real-time navigator at thinkabilitywi.org today.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You want to know the price of a new roof on your home today? Well, it's easy. Just go to TriCountyContractingWI.com, click on the Instant Roof Quote button, put in your address and email, click the Show My Roof Price, and there you go. Zero wait time. There's your quote. You shop online for everything else. Who says you can't shop online for a new roof? TriCountyContractingWI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
Shop Steinhafels Make It Your Own event. Save up to $800 on the largest selection of sofas, dining sets, bedroom furniture, and more. All customizable so you can create the perfect piece for your space. And take advantage of Steinhafels' 18-month financing, only at Steinhafels.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
We have a winner.
Congratulations, Bill. I hope you enjoy Penn and Teller.
Yes, you will. It's a great
I've never
great
seen
show.
them. You've seen it?
Man, I've seen the show in Vegas.
Okay.
And it's hilarious. And then I don't know if they used to stand out in the lobby after the show and they'd greet everybody. Didn't matter. You didn't need a VIP experience.
All right.
You just
How tall is Penn?
He's probably an inch taller than me.
Oh, wow. So he's is really big.
Tall.
It's not just
he's
on
almost
TV.
Your dad's height.
So he's almost 6'8".
Yeah, he's pretty tall.
So then Teller's not that small.
Teller's regular size.
Okay.
I don't know what regular size is.
What is regular size to you?
5'10", maybe.
Did I ever tell you my favorite stand-up joke from when I did stand-up?
No. Does this count as your
time?
Does this count as your dad joke?
Because
today?
I would be doing sure. I'd be doing stand-up in New York, and so I'd have a bit about being from the Midwest and being from Wisconsin and have some cheese jokes or whatever. And then I go, like they make them big in the Midwest. My dad's 6'8", my brother's 6'5", I'm 5'10". So, not tall enough to complain about airplane seats, but tall enough where 5'10" guys call me a liar. You're not 5'10". No, you're 6 foot. You're 6 foot. I'm 5'10", or 5'8" guys call me a liar. Sorry.
Call you a liar.
I screwed up my own punchline.
Well, then we'll give you a second chance with your dad joke later.
Perfect.
When you it's
I got
hard.
a good one today.
When you screw up your own joke, that's
5'8" guys call me a liar.
5'8" guys. 5'8".
You're not 5'10". I'm 5'10". No, you're 5'8".
No, you're 5'8".
All right. When we come back, we will spin around the state on Spanning the State.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Beer fans, travel lovers, and history buffs, this is your dream vacation. Join me, Sandy Max, on a 10-day journey through Germany, Austria, and the Czech Republic. We'll enjoy Munich's famous beer halls, sip our way through Salzburg's historic breweries, and discover Vienna's culture and craft beer scene. Then end the tour in Prague, where ancient history meets modern brews. From iconic castles to authentic flavors. Grab your passport and let's raise a glass to the ultimate beer adventure. Limited spots available. Book now. Email me, sandy@WTMJ.com to learn more.
Are you looking for a new car or truck? Well, good news. Inventories have really improved lately, and I have a few ideas to help you find the vehicle of your dreams. I'm Jim Token, president of Adam, the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. The first step to getting that car of your dreams is to visit any of the 115 Adam member dealerships, where you can see their selection in person and take test drives. You can also find out about the new cars they have on order and reserve the one you want. Or if you really want to get the exact car you're dreaming of, they can order it for you. It might take a few weeks for delivery, but hey, wouldn't it be nice to have the perfect vehicle built just for you? This is your chance. Plus, if you're thinking of trading in your current car or ending your lease early, you'll be amazed at what dealers are offering. And if you prefer to handle the negotiations and paperwork remotely, no problem. Most Adam dealers will even bring cars to you for test drives. So don't wait. Start your search now. Find an Adam member dealer near you at adamm.com.
Tariffs and the threat of their implementation have become a central part of the United States trade and foreign policy. What are tariffs? How are they implemented? And what sectors of the economy could benefit if they're put in place? Join me and Annex Wealth Management's Dave Spano, Chief Economist Brian Jacobson on March 11th at 1 p.m. for their informative webinar. Learn how your portfolio and your financial plan might be impacted and affected by tariffs. Visit the Annex Wealth Management webinar page at WTMJ.com.
Now here's a way to bring new life to your bathrooms. And the best part about it is that it's pretty affordable too. Because remember, home improvements don't always have to be expensive. You just have to think a little outside the box. Give your dated bathroom mirrors instant designer style by having us wrap them in custom frames. Talk about an immediate upgrade. Dark wood frame mirrors can add a rich new look to your bathroom, along with a warm, cozy feel. Crisp white mirror frames will brighten and refresh your bathroom's focal point, and custom metal mirror frames will bring a touch of elegance and class. So don't settle for bare mirrors, because the variety of custom mirror frame styles we can help you choose from will go as far as your style and imagination will take it. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
The Bucks are swooping into Atlanta to take on the Hawks.
Giannis going downhill, goes right past Brown and sends it down the facial. Served up from the Greek Freak.
Our coverage starts tonight at 6. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 2 o'clock, it's 48 degrees. Tonight, rain is likely a low of 41. Tomorrow, rain transitions to snow, just a little mushy accumulation. High of 46 tomorrow. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm John Mercier. A former police officer faces charges for recording underage girls. 41-year-old Fernando Bustos of Greendale faces one felony count of invasion of privacy with a surveillance device of victims under the age of 18. He was a security coordinator with Cristo Rey Jesuit High School, where officers say he recorded 380 videos of girls changing between May of 2024 and February of this year. Bustos previously served as a Greenfield police officer. Stocks are mixed today after the U.S. imposed 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports and an additional 10% tariff on Chinese imports. It's prompted those nations to impose their own retaliatory tariffs. Economists say Americans could see an increase in grocery prices soon. In Ontario, Canadian Premier Doug Ford says he's already retaliating, and it could affect the power grid in Minnesota, Michigan, and New York.
If the Trump administration falls through on any more tariffs, we will immediately apply a 25% surcharge on the electricity we export. We will not hesitate to shut off their power as well.
The president expected to address tariffs when he gives a speech to Congress tonight. Charles Benson is at the speech and will join us coming up on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. With judges testing more than 100 cheeses at the U.S. Cheese Championship contest in Ashwaubenon, it's important to get the best cheese samples. Judge Steve Skanowski tells WTMJ.
What you're trying to do is get a core sample down to the center of the block, because a lot of times you'll find that if there's uneven cooling, if it didn't get cooled fast enough, the center of the cheese will be different than the surface of the cheese.
Skanowski says, of course, the best part of the competition is tasting all that cheese. WTMJ Sean Brinda is at the championships and will join us live at 4:05 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. And it wouldn't be opening day without a big nod to Bob Uecker. President of Business Operations for the Milwaukee Brewers, Rick Schlesinger, tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News what fans can expect for the home opener on March 31st.
What we'll do is obviously have a moment of silence to reflect on his life. We'll have the team wearing the Bob Uecker plaid patch. That'll be all season long. We will have Bob's signature in the grass behind home plate.
A larger celebration of life is in the works to honor Uecker this August. Time for news about your money. Stocks were really rough this morning, and now they've rebounded. The NASDAQ is actually in the green. It's up 145 right now. The Dow, after being off almost 2% earlier, is now down 0.5%. It's off 226 points. The S&P is down 7 points on the day, getting close to even. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:04.
Do you want the economy mulch or the premium? The only real difference is that the premium mulch has thicker strands, while the economy mulch is finer. But the colorant we use for both is of the highest quality, and that's why the color of our mulch lasts longer. And our mulch comes from trees, not pallets, and we process it all in-house. That's why our prices are so low. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. At Erickson's Landscape Supply, we have durable, maintenance-free polywood patio furniture and #1 grade treated natural pine Amish-made patio furniture. And we also have a wonderful assortment of concrete benches, statues, and fountains available in a selection you just gotta see to believe. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less, plus a whole lot more. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection or stop on in today.
Vince Vitrano for Connect Chiropractic. Winter shoveling, hibernating, being a couch potato, Chiropractic can help bring back your energy. Headaches, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain. How quickly you can see results will vary from person to person, but time and repetition is key to staying on the right track. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. At Connect Chiropractic, they use an instrument called the Integrator that allows them to be gentle and specific with all their adjustments. New location coming soon to Oak Creek. Get started at goconnectchiro.com.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Bucs' 2-game road trip wraps up tonight in Atlanta against the Hawks. Head coach Doc Rivers believes his team is rounding into form at the right time.
We're coming together as a team,
and we're just playing better basketball. And we're doing things you have to do on the road, taking care of the ball, not fouling too much, rebounding, executing on offense. You have to do that on the road or you lose games, and we're starting to do that.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6 o'clock on WTMJ. Brewers pitcher Aaron Ashby is having imaging done today on an oblique injury that forced him out of last night's game against the Reds. And in the NFL, the New York Jets are releasing wide receiver Davante Adams, making him a free agent. The NFL league year and free agent signing period begin on March 12th. All right, let's check those roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Pretty quiet in the metro area. There is a disabled on the ramp from Wisconsin Highway 20 onto 94 South, down there south of the city. The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, rain is likely, a low of 41 degrees. Tomorrow, rain most of the day, maybe some slushy snow late, and accumulating snow far north and west of the city, a high of 46. On Thursday, mostly sunny, breezy, a high of 38. On Friday, a chance for a little snow mix, a high of 39. And on Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 38 degrees. In Madison right now, cloudy and 47 degrees. In Green Bay, cloudy and 47 degrees. In Milwaukee, cloud cover and 45 degrees. I'm John Mercure, Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:07.
It's time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristin, Brey, and Brian Noonan.
Another day, another collection of stories from around Wisconsin. If you miss any of the details or just want to hear them again, you can always text SPIN to the Sighting Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620 or subscribe to our podcast and you will get them every day without having to worry about missing it. All right, Kristin, you had a day off. You still know how to do this.
I do.
All right, then let's do it.
Kenosha.
All right, Kenosha. Public art elevates every community where it is displayed. In an effort to bring more public art to Kenosha, the Kenosha Mural Project was announced last week by officials in partnership of the Kenosha Community Foundation, the City of Kenosha, and the Kenosha Creative Space. It aims to enhance the area's beauty by fostering community pride, boosting tourism, and supporting mural artists. Reporting in the Kenosha News stated that the murals would be placed on prominent downtown buildings to, quote, transform underutilized spaces into vibrant landmarks, creating an inviting and culturally rich environment, said Francisco Loyola, Creative Spaces founder and executive director. The project is seeking support from volunteers, sponsorships, and public donations. The city is supporting the project through planning and initial seed funds. The foundation will soon accept donations, which will be tax deductible.
Nice.
A call for artist proposals and an open house are scheduled from 5 to 7 p.m. March 18th at the Kenosha Creative Space. The last mural facilitated by the KCS was the Kenoje mural by artist Jamie Brown in 2020, and that is an Ojibwe word that means pike.
Oh, very nice. I love murals in public art.
I'm always very impressed that you can have like when I look at the Giannis mural in Milwaukee, like the amount of detail, knowing how big it has to be because you can't see the full, like how far you have to back up to know, like, am I getting my ratios right?
Yeah, it's amazing. So these artists, I hope they get some good ones. I'm sure they will. Let's see where we head next.
Casco.
Oh, maple syrup. Who doesn't love maple syrup? It is the perfect topping for so many delicious breakfast items. For maple syrup producers like Bill Rohde from Casco, the process of collecting sap has already started, but it will not last long. I didn't know this. The process of filling up maple bottles began last week as many producers headed out to the woods to collect sap from their trees. At the beginning of March, most maple syrup producers usually start tapping trees and either hang buckets or bags to collect the sap or use a tubing system to speed up the process. The combination of cold nights and warmer days usually speeds up that process. According to a report in the Door County Daily News, in Door and Kewaunee counties, forecasts went from, or that was the process, according to the news. In Door and Kewaunee counties, forecasts went from cold weather warnings and more than a foot of snow to temperatures in the mid-40s to low 50s, prompting maple syrup producers to act fast. After tapping approximately a week ago, Rhodey says he has collected well over 500 gallons of sap, which can produce about 10 gallons of maple syrup. That's not a big ROI. Wisconsin maple syrup producers they made 458,000 gallons of syrup in 2024, which is good for fourth in the nation.
I'm vaguely remembering last year there was some issue with tapping like sap trees. I feel like there was some news stories last year around this time talking about it. Maybe it was because we had such a warm winter.
That could be, because I think it needs both, according to this. I am not a maple.
500
if you are a
gallons
harvester,
down to 10 gallons.
Yeah, that's
wow.
That's a lot. No wonder maple syrup
10
is
gallons of maple syrup that's a lot of syrup.
That is a lot of syrup.
Yeah.
Are you a pure maple syrup person or like an Aunt Jemima?
I don't even know if I've ever had pure maple syrup.
Really?
Is it that much better? I would imagine it's that much more expensive.
It's thinner. It's a lot thinner because it's not all,
It's not as syrupy.
Not syrupy. But it's good. I still go with just a log cabin, just a regular old log cabin.
I have what's ever been in our pantry, I think, for the last 4 years.
Yeah, it's a bottle does last a long time.
I don't think it's. Maybe it'll go faster now that I have a kid that wants pancakes. But
yes, that could be.
Besides baking, I'm sure it's not like I'm having pancakes every weekend.
Yeah, no, it lasts a while in the house. All right, one more spin.
Green Bay.
All right. Well, sports memorabilia collectors will toss around the term priceless, but we all know there's always a price. And sometimes, I know this firsthand, it's exorbitant being married to someone who loves cards. Yes. A 1957 Green Bay Packers game used rookie jersey worn by star running back Paul Hornung was expected to set a record when it sold in Heritage Auctions Winter Platinum Night Sports Auction last month. The jersey sold for $103,700, breaking the previous record for a Packers game-worn jersey. Wow. The Journal-Sentinel reported that this jersey shattered both the $84,000 Hornung jersey from the early 1960s, fetched in August 2017, and a Don Hudson jersey, likely worn sometime in the 1940s, that went for $80,662.50 in August 2011. I love the 50 cents.
Yes, 50 cents. Well, that's the all right, I've already spent all my money. Oh, I'm going to get outbid by 50 cents.
It's like whoever was that not outbidding that person's like, that 50 cents is too far.
I can't do it.
The jersey was photo matched to a 1957 game against the New York Giants, as well as a 1959 intra-squad game and several 1961 practices.
Wow.
Mike just picked up from a Facebook marketplace thing, like boxes and boxes of cards.
Really?
That he's done this before, where it's like, because he just loves going through them.
Okay.
Because if you get the one card in the thousands of cards that, it's a family who's offloading, they maybe had a parent die or something. It's like, here, I don't know what to do with all of these. So that's how he spent his weekend.
So what does he do with the ones that, in that box? Maybe there's the one, maybe there's not. Then does he keep those? Does he just throws them away?
Once he goes through them and he's like, no, a lot of these are garbage.
Nothing's in there? Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
He was so excited to go through them.
I got a guy I can hook him up with.
Okay.
A certified.
He's got a card show coming up in May.
Certified appraiser, this guy.
Yeah.
So
all right.
I'll give you that number. All right, listen. Well, we've got business to take care of on our own, so we're going to leave you to yourself. But first, I will tell you can text SPIN to the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620, and you will get a link to all the stories we did today. But why not just subscribe to the podcast? Because then you get the whole show. You get Spinning the State. You get our interviews. You get it all. And you don't have to do a thing once you subscribe. All right? All right. When we come back, Bernie Sanders is coming to Wisconsin. Why? Well, a lot of Democrats are starting to make a move because some Republicans are very angry. We'll get to that and more after this on Spanning the State.
While the Hawks have struggled to find their footing.
That's inexcusable. Inexcusable.
Instead of playing in the playoffs, they'll just be looking.
You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
The Bucks head to Atlanta to take on the Hawks.
He'll kick it out left wing. Catch and shoot three. Gary Trent Jr. zeroes in again. He drills another three.
Our Bucks radio game day coverage starts tonight at 6. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
Hey, it's Brian Noonan from WTMJ. I'm here for Milwaukee Weight Loss. I cannot tell you how happy I am with this program. I started about 7 weeks ago. I'm already down 38 pounds, 5 inches from my waist. Somebody came up to me yesterday, gave me a compliment. You know, the compliments are really nice. You know what else is nice? Feeling better, feeling like you're accomplishing something. This is the secret to losing up to a half to a full pound of fat every day. The program's great. It's developed by doctors. It's easy to follow. It's rapid weight loss. It's naturally. You don't have to take any shots. You don't have prescriptions. You're not buying prepackaged meals. You are eating your own food. It's you, your own food, and your own dedication to leading a healthier life. The program resets your metabolism. You keep the weight off for good. How do you do that? Well, they give you a coach to help you to have continued success. That's right. Program costs up to half as much and works twice as fast as other programs. So if you're interested, if you think you want to do this, and I think that you should, go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. I have already surpassed that. I couldn't be happier, and I'm going to keep going because I started high. I've got a long way to go, but it is crazy watching your body lose up to a pound a day. Schedule your free consultation by calling 262-449-1180 or go online to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. If I can do it, you can too. Results may vary.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. And they're the best. Let them make outdoor living unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Kristin Brey.
I'm Brian Noonan. I should have given Rhea a Mardi Gras playlist today for the bumps. But listen,
what is the typical Mardi Gras music?
It's a lot of jazz, Louis Armstrong. There's all kinds of great music. That there's specific Mardi Gras songs, and there's just New Orleans stuff.
Lil Wayne?
There's some Lil Wayne. There's Trombone Shorty. There's
John Baptiste,
Kermit Ruffins, John Baptiste, the Neville Brothers. There's all kinds of stuff. Louis Armstrong's "Do You Know What It Means to Miss New Orleans" is probably one of the greatest songs of all time. Not that I'm, pushing for the next bump song or anything. But anyway, listen, this is Bernie Sanders is coming to town. Why? Well, in response kind of to this is from The Hill this morning. House Republicans are being encouraged to avoid in-person town halls in favor of phone and live stream videos. They're getting this advice after some constituents and activists have rocked recent GOP events by expressing outrage about the Trump administration's dramatic moves. National Republican Congressional Committee Chair Richard Hudson, who is a Republican from North Carolina, told House Republicans today at a closed-door conference, sure, because they didn't want anybody yelling at him in there either, so they went in, they closed the door. That was it. They had a meeting this morning. He told them members should opt for teletown halls or live stream events that can reach more people rather than in-person town halls that can be hijacked by Democratic activists.
They can also be muted.
They can be muted, sure. That doesn't see, and I love that they can't fathom that some of their own constituents, people who voted for them, may be unhappy.
There was one congresswoman who I guess stood up in that meeting and said people have been picketing at her house.
People are not happy, and they're not going to be any happier.
Well, especially if talk about if it takes that much longer to get Social Security checks, and if all of this stuff kind of. Well, I mean, this is where is the market right now? I mean, it's
horrible,
but it is interesting. The parallels that I've seen a lot of people make of this to 2009, 2010 with the Tea Party.
Yeah.
Because it was the same thing. It was the same playbook as far as like Nancy Pelosi and Democrats back then being like they're paid, it's astroturfed. And there's some evidence that the Koch brothers were involved. And, people are now pointing to George Soros, like these are paid protesters. But like if you look at the crowds, it's like those are not all paid protesters.
No.
And some of them might be Democrats. But listen, even the most Republican areas have Democrats in them, right?
Well, Democratic Representative Tom Suzy in New York went to a Republican district where Donald Trump won by more than 5 points, and he started talking. It sounded like this.
Well, living wage has been $17 an hour. And right now, people all over this country are desperate to join unions.
Oh, that's Bernie.
That's Bernie.
They know that if they can get, they want decent wages, decent benefits.
Yeah, that's Bernie. That's not.
Which one were you trying to play?
That was the one where the guy was talking about how he was so upset by what happened in the Oval Office on Friday, and the entire crowd, and it looked like, I'm going to say 80% senior citizens.
Yeah.
And that's not a slam. That's it. That was the crowd in this packed gymnasium. They all stood up.
Well, and it's interesting now because I was trying to think when I first saw that Bernie Sanders was coming to Kenosha. There was kind of a part of it that's like, does Bernie still draw a crowd? Like, and don't get me wrong, I think he's been he's been banging the same oligarchy, wealth disparity drum for over a decade now, right?
Right.
But as far as, is there still people who are interested in seeing Bernie? And he kicked off this oligarchy tour in Omaha, Nebraska, and it looked like it was packed. I mean, that's where the clip you just played is from, right?
Right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. He's going to Kenosha on Friday. He's going to be at University of Wisconsin Parkside. Then he's going to be at Altoona High on Saturday morning for his second rally. And those are two big Republican districts.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. And at some point, it's great for those guys to play politics because that's their, that's how they make their living. Regular people are if they haven't started feeling stuff already financially, they've been worried about their programs getting cut. They're going to start feeling financial implications of all of this soon. And I don't care how much you support any candidate. If all of a sudden you can't afford to eat, you can't afford to, replace your refrigerator that died, you're not going to stick with that person very long. Because if you do, you're not real bright. If those policies directly implement your family in a negative way and you keep saying, I'm for whoever.
Well, there was one I saw this was an interesting disconnect of people not knowing, because in each state, not each state, but a lot of states, Medicaid is called something else. Right. In Wisconsin, it's called Badger Care. In California, it was Medi-Cal. Mm-hmm. And people saying, cutting Medicaid won't affect me. I'm on this program, and it's the state program, not really realizing that those are the same thing. And so to a certain extent, there is a gap, I think, between understanding how cutting these programs are going to affect you until it's too late.
Right. And it's the same thing when people said, well, I don't need Obamacare. I have this kind of insurance. Oh, that's just the nickname for this health insurance. It's not really Obamacare. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to pay a little more attention, I think, a lot of people. So this will be interesting to see when Bernie comes to town. I do wonder if, this is his thing, railing against the 1% of the 1%. So he's in his comfort zone. If Republicans and Democrats will both turn out to see him, or we'll find out, I guess, on Monday. We'll be talking about it on Saturday. All right, let's do this. And then, man, are you waking up at 3 o'clock? Are you feeling terrorized? Why? Kristin knows. We'll tell you after this on Spanning the State.
Wisconsin winters are unpredictable.
This is history. Never had a tornado touchdown in February.
We keep you updated on blizzards.
Winter storm warning has been issued for all of southeast Wisconsin, and it's going to get really, really dicey.
Blackouts.
Tens of thousands of customers across southeast Wisconsin are without power this morning.
Icy roads.
Very, very slick conditions pretty much everywhere.
And more. With WTMJ Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts on air and at WTMJ.com.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at Right Choice Tax Resolution.
The IRS has you in their crosshairs. We are local and know how to deal with the IRS and state to solve your situation. Just the other week, we successfully removed the target on Nick to get $194,358 of taxes and penalties removed. This is why John Neal started Right Choice Tax Resolution, to help people fight the IRS and state. You don't know the ins and outs of all the taxes they can charge you or the more than 150 penalties they can impose on you. Make the right choice and call us at 844-222-1192. We want to help so your bank account doesn't get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security garnished, or a lien put on your house. Get rid of that stress and get back to enjoying life. Call us at 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us right now to book a meeting. We understand how stressful this can be. The situation won't go away if you do nothing. That's 844-222-1192 or rightchoicetax.us.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Restaurant prices are soaring, but not at the Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. One of my favorite places, family-owned for almost 50 years. I took my daughters there. Great memories. It's super affordable, and it's so much fun. Every Tuesday, the authentic Mexican buffet is all you can eat, and it's just $9.99. It's the best Tuesday dining value, $9.99. Kids 5 and under eat free today from that kids menu. They can safely play in the world-class game room, quietly tucked away from the dining area while you finish up your meal. Stop today after school. Check this out. The Wednesday all-you-can-eat fish fry is just $7.99. Whoa! That's crazy. From 2 till 5 today, beers, cocktails, and appetizers are half price. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and just off Highway 41 in Oshkosh, right near EAA. Walk in today for the Tuesday all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet for under $10. MineShaftRestaurant.com. It's the amazing Mine Shaft.
All right, at the beginning of the show, Kristin, you asked a question: if people get up at 3 in the morning and they are panic-stricken and cannot go back to sleep, and yes, and you told us you would tell us why 3 o'clock.
So this has been happening to me a lot lately, which doesn't matter why. But specifically,
I don't think you're alone.
Yes, but it was because I saw this article and it was like, why is it 3 a.m.? Why is it not midnight? Why is it not 5 a.m.? And so I thought for anyone who this happens to, I would share the fact that in a normal night's sleep, apparently, our neurobiology reaches a turning point at 3 or 4 a.m.
Wow. Okay.
So there is something very biological about that time. So our core body temperature starts to rise. Sleep drive is reducing because we've already had a chunk of sleep. Our secretion of melatonin, the sleep hormone, has peaked, and levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, are increasing as the body prepares to launch us into the day. But what happens is, so we wake up many times in the night, but usually like light sleep is more common in the second half of the night. And so when you add stress or a lot going on into the equation, that can prompt you to become a fully self-aware self-awake state. But then you also add in the fact of like, why does it get so bad? Of like, why are you just like the worry that sets in at that time? And it's because you're basically alone. And so all of the other things that we do during our actual waking day, we turn on the radio, we talk to a friend, we're doing stuff that can kind of like dampen the worry. But when you're just laying there, even if you're next to your partner, it's just like, ooh, let's really dive into all the ways that this can go wrong.
Yeah, your brain just starts running rampant. Did it matter how much sleep you got, or that time is the time?
It sounds like that time is kind of the time. Even though obviously for most of us, it's not. The sun is a couple hours from
I would hope so.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. imposed 25% tariffs today on goods from Canada and Mexico and 20% on China imports. Canada responding with 25% tariffs on U.S. imports. ABC's Alexis Christoforous says prices on everyday staples from food, gas, and big-ticket items like cars could be going up.
Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. share supply chains when it comes to cars. Oftentimes, cars will go over the border several times in the making of that vehicle. So consumers expected to feel it there. And then if these tariffs are in place longer, we could be paying more for things like shoes, clothing, electronics as we move closer to Memorial Day.
President Trump will address a joint session of Congress tonight, talking trade, federal cuts, and layoffs, along with talks to end Russia's war in Ukraine. Pope Francis, battling pneumonia, remains in a Rome hospital. The Vatican today says he has not had any new respiratory episodes since yesterday, but will sleep with a ventilator. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 2:31. I'm John Mercure. Several arrests made after a two-county chase ends in a crash. The Kenosha County Sheriff's Office stopped a vehicle Monday morning on Highway 45 near County Highway C for a man wanted on criminal charges in Illinois. The driver sped off, and a chase continued into Lake County, where the car crashed into another vehicle near Illinois Route 173. The driver of the other vehicle suffered minor injuries. That individual was also arrested on outstanding warrants. A former police officer faces charges for recording underage girls. 41-year-old Fernando Bustos of Greendale faces one felony count of invasion of privacy with a surveillance device of victims under the age of 18. He was a security coordinator with Cristo Rey Jesuit High School, where officers say he recorded nearly 380 videos of girls changing between May of 2024 and February of this year. Bustos previously served as a Greenfield police officer. And today is Fat Tuesday or Mardi Gras, ahead of the Christian holy season of Lent. In southeast Wisconsin, tens of thousands of punchki will be flying off the shelves in area bakeries. And a bit of good news, the USDA projecting egg prices will start a slow return to normal as early as April. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The NASDAQ right now is up 118 points. The Dow is down 85 points, and the S&P is off 27 points. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's check those roads as I pull up the map here. Hey, look at that. Lots of green. No delays, no significant slowdowns. The weather, the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, rain is likely, a high of 41. Tomorrow, rain early in the day. Transitions over to a little bit of snow. Higher amounts north and west of the city, a high of 46. On Thursday, mostly sunny, a high of 38. Friday, light snow mix, a high of 39. Saturday, partly cloudy with flurries, a high of 38 degrees. Right now in Madison, cloudy and 47 degrees. In Green Bay, cloudy and 46. In Milwaukee, cloud cover and 47 degrees. I'm John Mercure, Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 2:33.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. You know, I get a lot of questions about QC Kinetics treatments, people asking if they should consider it for their own joint pain. Well, here's how you know. If you answer yes to any of these questions. Is your quality of life impacted by chronic pain in your knees or hips or shoulders or other joints, trouble sleeping or walking? Do you want to avoid surgery, a long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? And most importantly, do you miss doing the things you love because joint pain is holding you back? If you answered yes to any of these questions, don't wait. Call now. Call QC Kinetics and ask for your free consultation and learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can help you get lasting relief. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Tariffs and the threat of their implementation have become a central part of the United States trade and foreign policy. What are tariffs? How are they implemented? And what sectors of the economy could benefit if they're put in place? Join me and Annex Wealth Management's Dave Spano, Chief Economist Brian Jacobson on March 11th at 1 p.m. for their informative webinar. Learn how your portfolio and your financial plan might be impacted and affected by tariffs. Visit the Annex Wealth Management webinar page at WTMJ.com.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
It is Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristin Brey. And unlike Brian, dogs smell good.
Oh.
But not because of the odor, but because Brian can't smell.
I cannot smell.
He has no sense of smell.
I could never be a conservation dog.
You could never be a conservation dog, but we all know dogs smell very good with their actual nose. They detect drugs or explosives. They can help find missing people. They track game during hunting. They alert medical conditions like seizures. Like, that's really incredible what they can do with that schnoz of theirs. But how can their noses be used for conservation and to help save the planet?
Is that possible?
It is possible.
Well, then.
We are going to talk to Laura Holder, who's the owner of Conservation Dogs Collective, where they have dogs who are doing just that. Welcome to the show, Laura.
Hi guys, thanks so much for having me on.
Sure.
I love the puns and chuckles.
You know. And so I thought about that this morning. I was like, well, Brian can't smell, so this is kind of funny. So how did this start? How did this even become kind of a thought of like, oh, we could use dogs to find some of these things in nature?
Yeah, so like the brief history of conservation dogs, they've actually been used since 1890 in New Zealand to keep the island free of pests. If anybody's been to New Zealand, they know how beautiful it is. So dogs have been used for quite a while there. However, in the United States, they're relatively new. So about like 1970s, 1980s are the first documented usage of dogs for various agricultural-based trade use. And for my own two dogs, I got into the industry in 2017 after being a canine nosework trainer for several years before that for essential oils and fun for companion dogs.
Got it.
What kind of dog is there? Is there a certain breed that makes a better conservation dog, and how long does it take to get one of them trained and ready to sniff out these pests or whatever they're looking for?
Yeah, great question. So a lot of the breed tendencies in the United States in particular, we're usually using hunting dogs or herding dogs, so dogs that are somewhat medium-sized. But what's most important really is their personality and their motivation to want to work. So I always say, like, you could pay me $1 million to be a history teacher, but I wouldn't want to do it because I'm not motivated to learn all that, right? But these dogs that are in working roles really have a high propensity to work for food or their favorite toy or play sessions with their bonded human. And, certain other applications, smaller breeds of dogs are much more appropriate. So if you're thinking like port of entry dogs who might be sniffing containers on ships, there's very small areas that they need to get into. So a smaller, 15 to 25 pound dog is much more suitable there than an 80-pound German Shepherd, let's say. And the training process really depends on the dog too, but in general, I usually say it can be anywhere between 6 months to 18 months. And a lot of that depends on the dog's maturity, and also if the dog has any kind of learning history with conservation or even just detection tasks. So usually the older and more experienced they are, the quicker they're going to be able to be put onto a new particular conservation target. And kind of like with people too, the younger you are, sometimes the more distractible you are. So, usually dogs are going to be deployed out into the field when they're over a year of age. So about, 18 months to 2 years of age is when a working career usually starts for a conservation dog.
Is the difference between conservation dogs and other search dogs, like a bloodhound or the Border Patrol dogs, the drug-sniffing dogs, is the only difference what they're sniffing for?
Sort of, but really not. There currently is no certification or regulation within the conservation dog industry in the United States. So with some of those other modalities of detection work with Border Patrol and police canines and so forth, they go under some pretty rigorous and rightfully so certification processes, right? They're doing a lot of public safety work for us. In the sniffy sense, the dogs are doing a very similar task. They're trained to detect whatever that target is, whether it's a person, firearms, or a turtle. But the actual team training aspect is very different currently. That's not to say that conservation orgs such as ourselves don't go through our own rigorous training protocols, but there's just no standardization yet in the industry of conservation detection dogs.
Got it. So you mentioned turtles. So what are the different kinds of things in nature that the conservation dogs are trying to find?
Yeah, our two dogs here, Ernie is sleeping on my lap right now. Yeah, I know. Ernie and Betty are working on bumblebee nest detection, so live active bumblebee nest colonies. They're also working on a couple of different species of turtles as well. And then beyond that, there are conservation dogs used for invasive plants, endangered plants, animal scat, which is poop, different types of aquatic-based targets, so snails, mussels, even invasive fish. And then there's also contaminant detection dogs as well, so dogs that might be trained to do any kind of like oil spill detection, or other types of environmental contaminant like water runoff, from various agricultural use and so forth. So if it has an odor, really, a dog can be trained to detect it. Yeah. Yep.
Who's hiring the dogs, and are they the ones who, once your dogs go out and they find some bumblebee nests, who wanted you to look for them, and then do they come in and take care of the nests, or do the dog, I don't know, what happens?
Yeah, so we get hired by different types of agencies. A lot of them are state-based agencies, whether that's a forest preserve district or even the Wisconsin DNR, for example, will hire us to come out and do surveys. It's very rare currently to get hired by a private agency or even like a private landowner. And part of that, I think, is just because of the novelty of conservation dogs right now, and it's still a very new industry.
Yeah, like not even knowing that it's an option.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was only, 8-9 years ago when I first heard about conservation dogs, and now here I am. And so depending on the partner that we're working with, for the example of bumblebee nest detection, we're coming in and our dogs are doing surveys, and whether or not they are indicating, and we can immediately verify that there's an active nest there by actual bumblebees, entering and exiting or not. We take various GPS and environmental data at the moment there, and then sometimes in the situation where we cannot actually see bumblebee activity, the partner will usually have either a staff member or citizen science group come out and actually monitor that particular location for either 1, 2, or 3 different periods of time afterwards. So we get lucky, to be honest. Like when the dogs are, alerting that there's a bumblebee nest, it's much more of a rarity that they actually sniff, and then we can visually identify that there's a nest right there, because we're not digging up the ground or anything. We're surveying during the bumblebee nest active colony cycle. So like we are a kind of leave no trace type of method with the dogs. So that's where we really rely on our partners to then do their additional monitoring efforts.
Got it. So you, Conservation Dogs Collective, recently switched from being a nonprofit to a for-profit model. So what was the motivation behind the switch, and how's the transition going?
Yeah, the transition is going really well, to be honest. The switch was a little bit of, kind of looking at the longitudinal growth of the organization since 2017, and really having an honest assessment with the board of directors of like, here is, how things are going, like to get to the next level and, push forward beyond Laura Holder, myself, like tenure here, like what does that really look like? And I'm obviously paraphrasing greatly here, but we made the decision, the board of directors, voted on the transition into a for-profit model this year. And with that shift, we can actually kind of hyper-focus back down into the Wisconsin and kind of northern Illinois areas for our survey efforts. So I can really focus on, besides the national expansion, now the hours put into that are going to be focused on more local efforts.
Well, if people want more information, or maybe they have a dog that they think, boy, it's a good hunting dog. They've got a pretty good sense of smell. Maybe I'd like to get my dog involved in this. Where can they get information?
Yeah, I'm of the age where I'm like, go to our website.
Yes.
ConservationDogsCollective.org is a really great resource to learn more about our organization, learn about we call them finders, the dogs that find the things.
Okay.
And we also have some really great resources there about how to educate yourself if you're interested, just like you said, like my dog loves to sniff things. Is this a job for them? And people from there, if they have additional questions or just want to chat more, they're welcome to contact us through our website, and we'll strike up a conversation via email.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Laura Holder is the owner of Conservation Dogs Collective. Thank you so much for joining us today, Laura.
Thanks, Laura.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
All right. We'll be back with more after this.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
We're on the air in 3, 2...
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano. John Mercure here. Wait, does that car say Pella on the side? What's Gina Della doing here?
Sorry, I'm late. We're on the air in 3, 2...
Recognize my voice? Get used to it.
Talk all things Windows, business, and being a boss in more ways than one with Gina Della from Pella's very own show right here on WTMJ. Starting February 1st, tune into What's the Difference every Saturday morning at 6:30 or stream anytime on WTMJ.com.
What a tease.
The next time you're due for service, visit richlands.com to schedule an appointment at any of our 5 conveniently located facilities.
All AAA approved and all staffed by ASE certified technicians ready to serve you.
Richlands. If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Great Midwest Bank has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed business technology company. The bank's IT systems administrator, Michael Quizon, comments on the value of local.
We call on them at any point, they're there. We ask them any questions that we have, they're there.
James Imaging Systems, local business technology solutions, local support, local accountability. Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales for the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra.
If an issue does arise, they're very prompt, polite, and professional. It makes me feel empowered because I find it very easy to resolve something.
James Imaging Systems client, Al Leidinger, President of Matheson Manufacturing, summarized the benefit of local.
James Imaging has been a really good partner with us from the beginning.
Go with local. Go with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Gonna play, do you know what it means to miss New Orleans?
The live version.
This is lovely.
It is
Should we just
lovely.
play this for the rest of the show?
Yeah. Little Louis Armstrong to take us to the end.
Oh, is your heart breaking?
I have. There's an artist, Simon of New Orleans, who does these wonderful paintings, and one of them that hangs in our kitchen is this say, "Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans?" We have too much New Orleans. It is, Marty. It's funny how I've been like during the day, people would they saw that I was wearing some purple,
Get a purple
and stuff.
hoodie on?
Yeah,
or
I've got
quarter zip.
I've got my purple, green, and
What
gold.
is your shirt? Tulane.
It's
All right.
Tulane with the Mardi Gras hat.
Okay.
So, and I've got my custom Mardi Gras Vans on.
Ah,
These
okay.
have authentic New Orleans dirt on them. So it's these I only wear at Mardi Gras or on Mardi Gras.
Okay.
That's the only time they come out. But I was explaining, there's so many people, and I was like this about 12 years ago, going, oh, I always wanted to go to New Orleans. Oh, I should go to Mardi Gras, but I hear it's, everybody who hears about Mardi Gras thinks it's the French Quarter.
Well, you think about this is because I've been to New Orleans and I love New Orleans, but I've not gone to Mardi Gras because I've heard Mardi Gras is intense. And so I've been told Halloween in NOLA is really great. Jazz Fest is great.
Yep.
So it's been suggested to go at different times of the year, but that Mardi Gras can be overwhelming.
Well, it depends what you're looking for.
Okay.
It can be as debaucherous, I would imagine, as some people want it. That's more in the quarter. The thing that surprised me the most, our very first Mardi Gras was when Molly was a freshman at Tulane, and we went down and we stayed on St. Charles, which is the main parade route. That's where the streetcar runs from downtown and then the convention center all the way out past Uptown to Carrollton. And the first sight I saw when we pulled up in front of the hotel were a bunch of ladders that had benches affixed to the top of them. And I was like, what are those? Well, that's so the little kids are high enough so they can catch Mardi Gras throws. And then as that night came and we were there for the Thursday night parades, I realized over the weekend it's all families up there. 90% families.
Yeah.
You get the college kids coming in groups and you get other, but for the most part, it's multi-generational families and their friends coming there for the weekend. And a lot of times in all the years we've been down there, we'll stand next to somebody or sit next to somebody on Thursday night. We're still with them as Saturday day parades come through, and then on Sunday, because people come, they bring their chairs. A lot of people have tents. They're setting up elaborate food layouts, and it's unbelievable. And it's a long process.
Yeah.
And it could be, everybody, the locals, I'll tell you, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay.
Because it is. I mean,
Thursday to Tuesday?
we usually go Thursday to Monday.
Oh, so you missed the actual Mardi Gras day.
I got to. First of all, I love Mardi Gras. I'm not getting up at 5 o'clock to be on the parade route for Zulu. That's just as much as I like it. I watched Zulu today on the NOLA parade cam. I didn't have to be there, but just watching the people, and I've sat there on that street and talked to people from all over the world, literally, and everybody's cool. It's
be nice or leave, isn't that the motto?
Be nice or leave is exactly right, and so it is definitely fun. I've actively tried to get on the New Orleans Tourism Board to go down there because I can't advocate for that city enough.
All right, well, where can people find your usual get up?
How I usually dress, if you text Mardi Gras, 2 words, Mardi Gras, to 855-616-1620, you'll see that what I'm wearing today is like I'm going golfing or, to a church social. This is not how I dress at Mardi Gras.
Yeah, Mardi Gras is a different beast.
Yes. So Mardi Gras, 855-616-1620. We'll take a quick break.
And then we'll
be
say
back.
goodbye.
Wisconsin winters are unpredictable.
This is history. Never had a tornado touchdown in February.
We keep you updated on blizzards.
Winter storm warning has been issued for all of southeast Wisconsin, and it's going to get really, really dicey.
Blackouts.
Tens of thousands of customers across southeast Wisconsin are without power this morning.
Icy roads.
Very, very slick conditions pretty much everywhere.
And more. With WTMJ Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts. On air and at WTMJ.com.
Adrian was seriously injured when a careless driver merged into her lane.
Gruber was there for everything that I needed. Any questions that I had, Gruber was there. They made me feel like everything about my situation and my accident was very important to them, and that made me feel good. And I would definitely call Gruber again for that.
Serving Wisconsin for over 35 years, Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They go above and beyond for their clients.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS.
This is Jeff Johnson.
And I'm Jason Johnson.
And together we're part of Johnson & Sons Paving.
Get your parking lot ready now for spring and avoid paying for extra repairs later on.
We'll come out to your property and walk it with you.
Potholes, damaged asphalt, damaged concrete, standing water, you name it. We'll talk to you about your options and fix it.
Plan a budget, set up an overall schedule with Johnson & Sons Paving.
It's all about doing it right the first time. Call us today to schedule a walkthrough and free estimate.
JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Looking ahead to life's next adventure? Hi, I'm Mike Yancey from Yancey & Associates. Whether you're buying a home or launching your dream business, we know there's a lot on your plate. But here's the thing, you don't have to go it alone. Since 1946, we've helped Wisconsinites like you secure, protect, and grow their version of the American dream. Our team is ready to tailor the perfect plan for you. Learn more at ANSAY.com. That's ANSAY.com.
I believe it's time for me to fly.
Well, that's it.
That is it. We got to pass it off to Wisconsin's afternoon news, but we are back with a packed show tomorrow.
Yes, enjoy the rest of your Mardi Gras, Les Bon Ten Roulette.
Got it.
Good times roll. And, yeah, we're out. See
ya.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
We've saved our clients over